I have definitely gained a broader appreciation, a better appreciation of how science works as a whole, perhaps. Every research project is a tiny, tiny little piece in a very large puzzle, and that puzzle may actually be worldwide. I think my own understanding, having improved, will or should make me much better able to teach it to students. One of the things that I've had to look at this year is the ethics of a lot of biology and biological topics, and I think now that I have some first-hand experience of that, my ability to lead discussion or to guide discussion would be a lot better. There's obviously a greater appreciation of biotechnology that I'm taking away with me, which is going to help tenfold in terms of my ability to discuss, explain, perhaps even create activities around trying to help students to understand how things work. When you're a lot more confident about what you understand, then you can think a little bit more laterally. And if you can give them anecdotal things to help them remember and help them to explain, then they're better able to do that, and hopefully it will give them a better appreciation as well. It's made me a lot more enthusiastic about the importance of science and why it's important to take science. I'm even more passionate about it now probably than what I was before.
The things that have really excited me this year has been the fact that you're allowed to come up with crazy ideas. And obviously working alongside the young technologists, because they have had some very, very crazy ideas. The crazy ideas end up being innovation, and innovation is what gets the new products out of the market. And, sometimes it doesn't quite, it doesn't go along a straight line, but all of the bits that make up that plan, and that to me has been an exciting challenge, because now I can go back in the classroom and say to the students that it's okay, your idea's fine. You go and find out a bit more and see whether that's the idea that you want to go with. And I think that's what I lacked understanding of before. I know now that it's okay to get things wrong, and it's all right to start again, and sometimes you have to go outside the school to get the best advice. I think the way that I taught before was very clinical, it was very textbook, and we do it this way and we do it that way. In the classroom in 2010 and beyond, I'm hoping that this new knowledge that I have gained is not really it's the planning, because the planning is really like how you're going to get there, and that's been important in industry. And then also the knowledge, so finding out about the different processes and systems and the best way to do the job. And then the other one is the skills. How do I put this product together, and what do I need to know before I can do anything further with this? So just being able to use those skills with the students, plus having the students think about the people who are involved, not necessarily the stakeholders, but I suppose we would look at them as stakeholders, and having them link all of those things together. I now have contacts outside, and they are very happy to come in and talk to students about their role and how they can help the student. It will be a good year next year. I'm really looking forward to implementing a lot of the ideas and craftswork really that has happened while I've been at Frucor. I've been very fortunate that as a host company that they've really taken me on board and allowed me to experience all the same things that each one of their technologists do. It's been a full opportunity of different sorts really with Frucor, not just about the drink but also about the people and the business.
I've been looking at New Zealand soldiers in North Africa during World War II, and I've been very excited about looking at primary evidence. As an historian, getting a chance to actually look at the soldiers' diaries and the soldiers' letters, and see that period of time and that experience through the soldier's voice. The soldiers that I have been looking at through their diaries and their letters may be long dead, but they have become my friends during this year. And the chance I had to go to Egypt, to Cairo, to see the New Zealanders' Cairo, to actually engage in the sites that they are describing in their diaries, that the veterans that are still alive were talking to me, was just amazing. And I feel privileged because what Royal Teaching Fellowship gave me was a chance to have time to do those things. I mean, I don't think there's many New Zealand history teachers who have actually driven through the battlefields in Egypt, in Libya, in Tunisia, in Greece and in Italy, and engaged in a real understanding of what actually happened, of what the site is, of how steep that hill is, of how big the gap is at Tegba Gap. And I feel privileged because as a New Zealander of having had the time to be able to do that. The best teaching is about the relationship between students and teachers, and that relationship is based on someone who, if a teacher is passionate about their subject, then that the students are going to learn in their class. It's nothing like worse than a tired teacher who does not engage their students. I've been teaching now since 1990, so it's almost 20 years, and this opportunity has been a really fantastic opportunity to be an historian rather than to be a teacher of history and to be talking to the students about what historians do. I've actually had a chance to do that. When I get back to the school, I'm going to be so enthusiastic about the craft of being an historian, and I think that's going to rub off into my students' learning. To engage them is the number one thing I see in terms of getting students to achieve. I see this as a long-term project, that this year was just an opportunity to kick-start a 5 or 10 year project. I see a book coming out of this, of bringing the soldier's voice into a book form, and I have actually been writing lots of chapters to try and draft and formulate how I want to structure that, and have been using my time really productively on that.
Well, in thinking about my year and the things that have truly excited me, reflecting, I have to say I'm absolutely dazzled with the new knowledge, understandings and skills I've gained. John Harris from Greenstone Pictures, my host, has been hugely generous in sharing his time, in challenging me, sharing industry secrets, answering my questions. It's been the learning that's been most exciting, because now I have up-to-date knowledge that I can apply in my teaching. When you've never really left education, the opportunity to have real-world experience and practice what you teach, it just can't get better than that. Technology is a rapidly changing field, and although there are particular practices that technologists carry out, they do change depending on the circumstances. So to be involved in different contexts has been quite important for me. I've gained so much that I can take back to my classroom. I think my students are very lucky to have me next year, because I'll know so much more than I've known in the past. I think every teacher should have a year, maybe 6 months, but certainly for me a year has been wonderful. Every 5 or 10 years to do this, to get into the real world and experience what it's like in the area that they teach in. Because it's no good relying on a degree you gained 20 years ago and just teaching the same old stuff. You've got to be excited by the modern world and looking into the future and understanding how we can build New Zealand's future, particularly in fields like science, technology, and I believe that this is a wonderful professional development opportunity that will make such a difference, not just to our students, but to the future of New Zealand. So thank you, Morst and the Royal Society, for providing this fantastic opportunity.